So that's our prediction or our outlook on AI. Next is tech in general. So okay, let me go first. The Consumer Electrics Show or Consumer Electronics Show, CES. So I think it just wrapped up today, and I've always been skeptical, but even more so skeptical about humanoid robots.
Yes.
Right? Even I got more skeptical last year when they debuted the Neo robot, and it was being controlled by someone somewhere. Similar thing with the Tesla robots, but the thing is like there is a particular company that has been doing it for years and years and years. That is Boston Dynamics, right?
Yeah.
And their exhibition at CES was remarkable.
Amazing. Wow.
So I've become less of a skeptic and, maybe more optimistic about humanoid robots. In the way the Boston Dynamic humanoid robot was moving around on stage, though parts of it were still being controlled by someone somewhere, but it was far, far ahead of what we had from, I think it was far ahead from what we had from Tesla and what we had from the Neo robots last year. Yeah. And compared to even what some other people exhibited at CES, those ones look like what Boston Dynamics had half a decade ago.
Years ago.
So it is quite impressive what they've done. And even the way they are going about it, the adoption, right, is that they've signed kind of like an exclusive deal or like a deal at a factory with Hyundai in America. And they are going to staff that factory with the humanoid robots. And that is an interesting
part, yeah.
That's an interesting, I would say, strategy from them. And I can see how a lot of companies, as it happens, will be watching that space. And I know that Amazon is going to be looking at it keenly because they have a lot of robots in their operations, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of Chinese companies that are also doing incredible things. I saw a couple last year as well. And I can see, in the next 5 years, a lot of companies is going to be first. I don't think it's going to be homes first, right? Probably going to be factories first, right, before it starts to diffuse into other spaces. So before you start to see them in the homes. So I think this is I know that they are not a publicly listed company, although we're not talking about stocks yet, but that is, that's just an interesting one that I see taking, let's say, just like shooting off this year. I can see that being the buzz for the year.
Yeah, I agree. Remember last year, I think it was our last episode or the episode before that, we were talking about some humanoid that came on stream, 20K, and you were like, oh,
yeah. I think that's the Neo robots, the one that MKBHD did a review of, and was it the greatest?
Yeah. But it will keep getting better. That's how these technologies will go, and before you know it, they'll be in our homes. For me, for this year in tech generally, aside from AI, I believe this year will be the year of quantum.
Okay, interesting.
A lot of people are skeptical about quantum. I've seen arguments from both sides that it's a grift, there's nothing real there and all of that. But I always try to listen to both sides and come up with my own analysis. I think there will be some breakthrough that would be really transformational. So it's just like when the transformers were invented that led to, ChatGPT later on and all the different ones. This year, there's going to be that in quantum, and the results might not show this year or even next year or the year after, but it's going to be a year where people will look back. And I saw an article from IBM and they were like, oh, this year will be the first year where a quantum computer will outperform a classical one. And because of that, there might be potential breakthroughs in different parts of science, development of drugs, and there might be a lot more commercial application. So it's something to keep an eye on, even though right now the quantum stocks seem to be overvalued right now because a lot of people thought last year was going to be the year and they thought aggressively as well. So there might be a correction this year. But in terms of, what's happening in the tech is typically supposed to mirror what's happening in finance, but that's not what happens because the finance people can't really explain, what the advancements in tech will translate to. So there's always that mismatch. So that's my tech outlook for 2026?
So on to, the general market.